My name's Morgan, I'm 28, and I've never thought of myself as the jealous type. I always believed that trust was the backbone of any relationship, and up until recently, I truly thought things between me and Jason were solid. We'd been living together for 2 years, and while we had our little differences, we were a team. Or so I thought, but lately, something had shifted. It started with small things. Jason was glued to his phone more than usual. He'd smirk while texting someone, and when I casually asked who it was, he'd shrug and mumble, "No one important." Then he started coming home later from work. Sometimes he'd even say he had to travel last minute for meetings, which had never been his style before. He added a passcode to his phone, and when I'd walk into the room, he'd flip the screen over like it owed him money. I kept telling myself I was overthinking. Maybe he was stressed. Maybe work was a mess. But what hurt the most was how distant he had become. Our conversations got shorter. He didn't seem to notice when I got a haircut, or wore something new, or even when I made his favorite steak. Then one night, when he told me he had another late meeting, something in me snapped. I created a fake Tinder account. I named her Emily, used a photo I found on Google, someone pretty, but not too flashy. In the bio, I wrote that I wasn't looking for anything serious, just interesting conversations. I set the location to match our neighborhood exactly. 2 days later, Jason messaged me. He didn't just swipe right, he started the conversation. And what I saw in his first message hit me like a gut punch. "You look exactly like my type. Blonde with that spark in your eyes. My girlfriend. She's the complete opposite. Lately, she just doesn't get me. My girlfriend. That's me. The same girl who stayed up late making sure he had clean clothes, who packed his lunches, who listened to him vent about his boss and told him he was capable of more. And now I was... What? A stranger he was complaining about to some random woman online. I should have stopped there. I wanted to stop, but I couldn't. I responded, as Emily. "Oh, I know that feeling, like you're invisible to the person you're with. Want to tell me more?" He replied within a minute. And what he said next, it completely shattered me. His next message was a wall of text. "Honestly, it just feels like I'm living with a roommate now. She's nice but boring, predictable. Everything's a routine. Same breakfast, same conversation, same energy. I miss excitement. Someone who actually wants to know me. I don't even remember the last time she asked how I'm doing." I stared at the screen, barely blinking. Routine. Boring. I'd bent over backward to keep things exciting for us. Surprise weekends. Cooking classes. I even went to a football game once and hated it, but cheered like I cared, just because he did. And he thinks I never ask how he's doing. I wanted to throw my phone across the room, but instead, I took a deep breath and stayed in character. "Sounds like you're feeling disconnected. Do you think there's anything worth saving there?" He replied, "Honestly, I don't know. Some nights I look at her and think, this isn't it anymore. She's not the one. Maybe she never was." That line, "maybe she never was," it burned, because I remembered when he told me I was the best thing that ever happened to him. During a thunderstorm, in our first apartment, while we were sharing takeout on the floor because our couch hadn't arrived yet. And now, I was a placeholder in his life. I didn't sleep that night. I laid there in our bed, facing away from him while he scrolled through his phone, probably talking to me, not knowing the woman next to him was the same person he was venting about. Over the next few days, the messages kept coming. Jason opened up more to Emily than he had to me in months. He told her about his dreams, about wanting to quit his job and travel, about how he felt trapped in our apartment, how I didn't light him up anymore. I played along, even when it felt like self-torture, because I needed to know. I needed the full truth, however ugly it was. Then he asked something I wasn't ready for. "You want to meet up?" My stomach flipped. I stared at those 5 words for what felt like an hour. If I said yes, it would go too far. But if I said no, I might never find out what he was truly capable of. So I said, "Depends. What would you tell your girlfriend?" His answer was instant. "She doesn't need to know. It's just coffee." Just coffee. The words people say when they know it's not just coffee. He was willing to cheat. With anyone. With me. At that point, it wasn't about revenge. I wasn't angry anymore. I was heartbroken, but I still wasn't done. If he was going to lie to my face, and hers, I wanted to see just how far he'd take it. So I said yes. We picked a spot, a small cafe near downtown, Saturday, noon. I planned to be there. not as Emily, as me, and I had no idea what would happen next. I barely slept the night before. I kept playing out every possible version of what might happen at that cafe. Would he show up early? Would he recognize me the second I walked in? Would he try to deny it, gaslight me, laugh it off, or beg for forgiveness? By the time Saturday rolled around, I was a mess of nerves, but also, somehow, calm. Like the kind of calm your body creates when it's too tired to panic anymore. I got dressed like it was a normal day. Nothing dramatic. Jeans, a hoodie, hair up. The same way I looked most Saturdays. The same way he always said he liked me best. Natural, no effort. Ironic now. The cafe we picked was a quiet spot near the library downtown. I knew it well. I'd studied for my nursing boards there. The place had floor-to-ceiling windows, a long counter with stools, and a few small two-person tables near the back. It was the kind of place where time felt slower, like the world outside didn't really exist. I got there 10 minutes early, sat at the back, facing the door. I wanted to see him before he saw me. At 12:07, he walked in. No hesitation, no looking around nervously. Just strolled in like it was a regular coffee date with someone he barely knew. He was even wearing the shirt I got him for our last anniversary. He glanced around the room, then pulled out his phone, probably to message Emily. I watched him type. A second later, my fake account lit up with a message. I'm here, sitting near the front. Black hoodie, gray jeans. I stared at it. Then I stood up and walked toward him. He didn't see me until I was a few feet away. When he looked up, his expression went from confusion to something like horror. Morgan, his voice cracked. He looked around, like he still thought maybe Emily would show up behind me. I didn't sit down. I just stood there, heart pounding but voice steady, and said, "So this is what just coffee looks like." He blinked, completely frozen. A flush crept up his neck. I watched him try to decide which lie to go with first. "I can explain," he finally muttered, but I cut him off. "You did explain, Jason. In every message you sent to Emily, you said I was boring, predictable, that you don't think I'm the one. You said you wanted something exciting, someone new." He looked like a deer in headlights. I didn't mean it. It was stupid. I wasn't going to do anything. I just needed to vent, that's all." "Venting?" I repeated, my voice louder now. "You wanted to meet a stranger for coffee and hide it from your girlfriend. That's not venting, Jason. That's betrayal. People were watching now, but I didn't care. You know what the worst part is?" I said, my throat tightening. "You didn't just lie to me. You were honest, just not to me. You were honest with a fake woman you thought was prettier, more exciting, more interesting. I got the filtered version of you. She got the truth." He opened his mouth to respond, but I was already walking toward the door. I didn't even take one last look. I went straight home, packed a weekend bag, and drove to my sister's place across town. I needed space. I needed to feel the air on my face without wondering what lie was sitting behind it. I didn't text him, didn't call, but he did. Oh, he did. First was the apology paragraph. Then came the "I messed up" voice note. Then the flowers delivered to my sister's door, like some pitiful grand gesture was going to erase the fact that he chose to meet someone else, someone who didn't even exist. And then, 5 days later, I got the message that would twist the knife even deeper. The message came in the middle of the night. I saw the notification light up my screen around 2:13 a.m. It was from Jason. It wasn't another apology. It wasn't another "I miss you" or "please come home." It was a screenshot. He had gone back into the fake Tinder chat, the one with Emily, and sent me a screenshot of our entire conversation. He wrote, "You planned this the whole time? You tricked me. You catfished me." The irony was unbearable. I just stared at it for a long time. He was more upset about being caught than about the fact that he had emotionally cheated on his girlfriend, me, with a woman he was prepared to meet behind my back. A woman he didn't realize was me. No remorse, just wounded pride. I didn't respond, but a few hours later, he sent one more message. "You think you're the victim here? You invaded my privacy. You made me feel safe with someone who wasn't even real. That's manipulative." That one actually made me laugh, a short, bitter laugh, because if I learned anything through all this, it's that some people will twist absolutely anything to avoid accountability. He didn't feel bad for what he said about me. He felt betrayed that I found out the truth on my terms, not his. A week passed. Then 2. I stayed at my sister's. She let me cry on the couch, brought me bad gas station wine, and didn't say, "I told you so," even though I'm pretty sure she wanted to. I didn't tell many people what happened, mostly because I still felt embarrassed, ashamed, like maybe I had become the version of me he described to Emily, predictable, routine. But slowly I realized something. Predictable isn't a flaw. Caring, reliable, consistent, those aren't boring. They're rare. And if someone can't see the value in that, the problem isn't with you, it's with them. I blocked Jason 2 weeks after the cafe incident, deleted the Tinder app, deleted Emily. I didn't need to keep testing him. He had already shown me everything I needed to see. Epilogue. It's been 4 months. I moved out of the apartment we shared, got my own place. Smaller, older, but mine. I'm learning to enjoy my own company again, which is a strange kind of freedom I hadn't realized I'd lost. Sometimes I still wonder what would have happened if I'd never made that fake account. Would we still be together? Would I still be trying to fix something he'd already given up on? Maybe, but I'm glad I found out, because the truth, no matter how painful, is always better than living in someone else's lie.